Alright, so we're in Exodus chapter 4. We're going to start on verse 10, work our way through verse 17. And those verses, those 7 verses, are going to talk about how Moses is still giving rebuttals for why he's not the right fit for the job. He's going to tell God that he's slow of speech, he's not a good talker. God's then going to say, man, I know about all that. I know you're not good at talking. I'm the one that created you. I'm the one that makes the mute. I'm the one that makes the deaf. I'm the one that makes the seeing, the blind. He says pretty much he's Lord. He's the one that does it. And then he says, don't worry about that. I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to tell you what you need to say. And then Moses is then going to tell him, he says, God, can you find somebody else? Just don't use me. Still go find somebody else. And then at that point, after all this, God is starting to get angry with him, right? His patience is starting to run thin. And God sits here and tells him, he sits there and says, you know what? Your brother Aaron, the Levite, he speaks well, don't he? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I know he does. But this is where it's fascinating and it's interesting because Aaron hasn't been introduced to the Bible yet. But it says, if you go back, it says in verse 14, it says, and look, he is also coming out to meet you. When he sees you, he will be glad in his heart. That verse is talking about Aaron. When the Bible didn't mention yet that God and Aaron had a conversation, right? And in the conversation of Moses and God, this is their first interaction together. Moses never said, send me help. He's been telling God, get me out of this situation. And God never said, I'm going to send you help. God this whole time was saying, I'm going to help you, right? God the whole time had already set up a game plan for Moses. He was already sending somebody to come help him. He was already working that out because he already knew Moses had weaknesses about him. He knew Moses wasn't fully equipped for the job. He didn't have all the tools needed to accomplish the mission. But God was already working to go send him some help. He wasn't going to leave him out dry. He just needed Moses to be able and to be willing and to have faith and to go do and to be obedient in what God was asking him to do. That's all God needed. And if we go back and, and re-examine what God said, after Moses said, hey, I'm a slow speaker, I'm not good at this, God was like, I know, I created you. And guess what? Everyone else who has difficulties, yeah, I created that also. We're looking, so to really tie all this together, Moses isn't the same Moses right here. He's being introduced as somebody, we're talking about videos 1, 2, and 3 here. Moses has been introduced as somebody who has fear in his heart. He was fearful of the rod whenever it turned into a snake. He was fearful that the king of Egypt at the time, the Pharaoh, was going to kill him after he killed somebody. He didn't have any self-confidence because before he told God, who am I to go talk to Pharaoh? He has no self-confidence in his own speech. He doesn't view himself very highly, right? He has a lot of characteristics about him that needs polished up. And then God is sending help for him, and he never asked for help. He's just trying to get out of the situation. So just think about that. God's not looking for you to be perfect. He's not saying, I need you to be way up here at the best level possible for me to use you. He's sitting here saying, hey, look, I know about all the things that kind of that make you you, things that you don't admire about yourself, but you're perfect in my eyes because I created you to be that way. And you don't have to do it on your own, but Because doing it on your own would mean that you're going to fail. Because I know you can't do it on your own. But I'm asking you to rely on me and to allow me to help you. Because if you allow me to help you, I'm going to make sure this thing gets seen through. That's all he wants, is for you to cry out and say, God, I need your help. So he can put his hands on the situation and let him work, let him do. Let God do what God does. That's all he's saying. Let me do what I do. So here's things to remember. Have faith in him. Don't view yourself as somebody. Don't view yourself as somebody that God can't use because you have certain things about you that you don't feel confident in. Be open and receptive to him. Listen for his voice. Hear him whenever he's trying to speak to you. Not just with a vocal tone, but it could be somebody giving a message saying Jesus loves you. It could be an eye-opening situation of you need to stop doing certain things. A multitude of different things, right? Be obedient. Be open and be a willing vessel for him. And just have faith that he knows what he's doing and just allow him to work. And when you allow him to work, he opens up doors for you. He clears the paths. He fights your battles for you. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. Another Bible verse I like is the Lord's strength is made perfect in my weakness. Just let him work.